Hi, and welcome to the Do Something Indie Show, episode 36. And I'm here at the Chateau de Mars Hill studio. We're doing the intro to this wonderful show we have tonight. And it is a good show tonight. And it's one of the things that's sort of in the news right now downtown around the city market. There is a bunch of people hanging out down there that aren't really up to much good. And this person that I'm interviewing tonight, she's actually has a business down there, and she's going to tell us about how, for the COVID, the riots, the situation down there, and how she's being a little bit harassed by the city on some things. And also, she's just a little firecracker. I mean, she's not afraid to tell you what she thinks. So let's get to that part of the show, and then we'll come back after you see this footage that I've shot last Friday. Hi, this is John Schmitz for the Do Something Indie Show, and I have another special guest tonight, and her name is
Brenda Barrett.
And she is a actual barber down here at the city market. And you might have seen her in the news lately because she's actually been drawing some attention from the city. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit of the background of her shop down here, and then we're going to have some questions. So how did you come up with the name of your shop, and give us a little background on that.
Well, I named my shop after my grandfather, and he was a medic on the island of Saipan during World War II, and I wanted to honor him while he was alive, so he got to run around with the Jack's Barbershop t-shirts on with all the old people, so he loved it before he passed. So it was nice.
So where do you get this Jack's Barbershop t-shirt? Is that something that you sell, or is that something
Well, I sell them, but I'm about out of them now. The t-shirt people all went out of business. Everything's ruined on my connections.
If there's any t-shirt people that watch this show, call
buy
Brenda. She'll get some more t-shirts. I know I have a few people that do that. And the Jack's Barbershop, that is cool. How long have you been in business?
At this location, over 14 years.
14 years. And you've had a lease with the city for that time period?
Well, with the city market.
City market. Now, are they related to the city anyway? Or are they
they're a non-for-profit, but the city owns the building. But they're a non-for-profit, so I pay to the city market.
So basically the city market, and then they pay to the city. So you would think you would get maybe some decent treatment from the city people, right?
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, and so you've had to shut down your business for a while when the COVID started. How long did you have to shut down?
2.5 months.
2.5 months. So then you decided to start back up on around May 11th when the governor started relaxing some of the orders? Is
yes,
that right?
I saw on in.gov, Governor Holcomb said you can open up. So I opened up on May 11th.
How'd that go?
Well, it was good till about the 11th, 12th. The 13th, Deputy Chief Bailey came over and told me there was a complaint about me cutting hair. And I said, oh, who didn't like their haircut? I know I'm good, so I couldn't believe it. And they said, no, the mayor says you can't cut hair. I said, well, sir, I got on in.gov and it says I can. He says, well, in Marion County, the mayor says you can't. I said, well, are you going to give me a citation? He said, no. I said, well, sir, I just paid my rent, and I haven't missed rent ever, never been late. And I said, I'm going to continue to cut hair unless you give me a citation because I have bills to pay. I'm an essential worker. And then he goes, well, and I said, I learned in kindergarten that the governor's above the mayor. So I don't think the mayor
thrilled him, didn't it, when you said that? I'm sure.
He just smiled and I told him have a great day. So I continued to cut hair. I got up the next day and cut hair.
And while you were shut down for 2.5 months, you had to still pay rent, right? You didn't.
Yes, full price.
Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dumb guy from Mars Hill, but I would think if the city shuts you down and tells you you can't work, that they should be paying your rent, or at least give you a break, right? Is that just crazy?
Well, I would hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I know that they have come up with a $18 million rental assistance program, which I think is federal money. I don't think it's the city money. I think it's out of that big grant that they're getting from the federal thing. But has anybody come to you about any kind of relief for rent as a business?
No, the city market offered a deferment program, which they would defer your base rent, not your whole rent, for 2 years, and you have to sign a 2-year lease. So that was their remedy.
Okay,
deferment program.
But just
that's it.
So wait a second. Did your customers defer? I mean, they didn't. how does that work? They don't come back and get 2 haircuts because they're...
No, but I have very generous customers.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I'm sure.
Good.
And
yeah.
I've noticed that with a lot of businesses that the customers have really sort of supported through this thing. But, you know...
They have stepped it up. They're awesome.
But you can only do that for so long. This has gone on for months.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I wonder about is why did we not get things in place sooner than this? And if you try to call the health department and get numbers of what's exactly going on, they have no clue. Now there is some websites and this and that, and I can call somebody IU Health or Eskenazi, I can get those numbers and the hot spots and all that. But that's not the health department. That's not our government that is supposed to be keeping track of this. So I guess with their ineptness, you have to pay because they don't know what's really going on. They don't know how clean you are, and most beauty shops or barber shops, you have stringent requirements on keeping everything clean.
Yes, we do.
So it's like, I would put you guys right next to hospitals.
Yeah,
that's just me, though. I'm partial. So
yeah, I've been doing this for 36 years, so I know all about sanitation.
Yep, and that's one of the things that I just feel like business owners know what's best, because if you have people that are going to come in, they're not going to, it's the capitalism does that. It's supply and demand. There's a lot of places they can go to get their hair cut or buy a pizza or have a beer after a game or whatever. So it sort of polices itself somewhat. But when you have these outside things, now like you're inside the city market, so really the riots didn't really affect. You don't even have any windows, so they couldn't break through the walls, I guess, but the COVID really had an effect on you. I mean, as far as foot traffic, when I came in tonight at the end of the day, there was nobody out there, and it's still
like that by 2 o'clock usually.
Okay, so it starts shutting down, and really business probably won't pick up until like Salesforce and some of these people stop working at home. Will things get back to what I'd call a reasonable pace? So, how much would you say your business is off since you reopened from what your usual?
Well, percentage-wise, I'm probably doing 1/10 of the business that I did. That's a good way to put it.
1/10. So, when in construction, when I'm on my job, I'm doing 1/10. That's just like we're just keep it busy enough to maybe pay the bills. We're not making any progress. So, what do you see going forward as far as the light at the end of the tunnel? I generally ask this question. I mean, what do you see as this getting a break? I mean, now we have the mask thing, we had the riots, we had the COVID.
And now I got drug dealers outside. I mean...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Human feces everywhere outside. I have to deal with that. I don't know. I hope there's light. I have faith in God, and I think I shall prevail.
Yeah,
and it's going to be good.
I think that we will. My fear is that the downtown is going to be so depleted that it's going to be very hard to get things back. First of all, we got to get sporting events back. We got to get our convention business back. We got to get, and I'm wondering how some of these places are paying the bills, like Lucas Oil, and we're still paying on the RCA Dome.
Yeah.
So there's nothing going on in any of these places. So at some point that bill's going to come due, and is that going to be? Are we going to be able to recover from that? So what other ways have you done things to reinvent your business or find another way to get people in? I know obviously opening early was compared to what the mayor would like you to do was one way to get going again, but
I did that because that's what I thought was the guidelines. That's where I read it. There's so much information out there, and there's nothing consistent. They do not even have consistent rules of what I can do, and that's why every day I get something else thrown at me. It's like, let's have some guidelines for everyone to follow, and then we can all do it. But when everything's just here, there, everywhere, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
so the only thing I did was because I thought I was doing what was right. And when you can go get your haircut 10 minutes away, it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I went up to Carmel to get my haircut. I mean, you can see I have such a big hair here.
Yes.
It grows like at the rate of a snail's pace. So my hair would get a little long and nobody would say anything, but we shouldn't have to go out of the county when we have perfectly good barbers here in town, we should not have to go out. And I think a lot of folks that are worried about this new mask thing, they said, I'm just not going to go down. I just won't go.
I've been hearing that, yes. A lot of people refuse to come downtown.
So another thing that sort of shocked me when I came in tonight, you were telling me today at around 2 o'clock there was, basically a rape down here going on, and at broad daylight.
Yes, it was at 2:30, right out on Market Street, right outside the market door. But she didn't want to press charges, so now everything's okay. It's not a rape now because she didn't press charges. So evidently you can have sex on the street in broad daylight.
I got a question for you. Were they wearing masks?
No, they were not wearing masks. None of them
were. And
masks.
they were obviously closer than 6 feet apart, right?
They weren't social distancing. That's
not
for
at
sure.
all. I mean, I make light of that, but I mean, I don't know what else we can do at this point. I mean, it just seems like that there's businesses boarded up. There's just folly going on outside of the city market. I mean,
it's horrible. I have videos of them fighting last night. Videos of them dealing drugs, and these are not homeless people. These are people, I don't know what they are, but they're not homeless.
Well, and then we had a shooting last night down on South Street from some of this gathering of people. So it just seems like to me that the city really wants to punish people that are doing the right things, and the people that aren't, they just sort of get away with it. And that's what it seems like. And
it sure does seem like it. Yes, it does.
And I would start wondering if they can enforce anything. I mean, because we see people keep pushing this envelope on what they can do and that. So I just wonder when the breaking point is. Do you think that we're going to, move this along, or do you think this is going to be something that's just going to, keep spiraling down?
Well, if they don't do something about it, it's going to keep spiraling down. I mean, it's common sense.
Right.
They all have the power. They know nothing's going to happen to them. They're dealing drugs out here. They're doing heroin. They're smoking spice out here, and no one stops them. They have rights. Well, I have a right to run my business.
Yeah.
And, I have a right not to have to walk through human feces every day to get to my business. It's disgusting.
And we have proposed solutions. Unfortunately, the groups that get funded, they don't do that. The groups that I work with on the homeless situation, they have to raise their own funds. And trust me, we barely have enough funds to, support people that actually need help. And some of these folks, and this isn't a group of people that I know a lot of. I know some of those folks. Other groups that I help serve, some of those folks are just poor. And, and like I said earlier.
And mental illness, but these are drug dealers. These are not homeless people.
Yeah, this is not.
These are drug dealers. This is not the same
group.
Not at all.
So I would say, so what are your hours down here? I want to get you a plug, and I want to get some people to come down here.
My hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 to 4.
And you do appointments as well, and do you have like a website or something that people
Well, they do appointments, they call in.
Call in, okay. So
317-423-0550. You can call and make an appointment, but now we are legal to do walk-ins if you prefer that as of yesterday. What's today's date? Yeah. As of yesterday. Okay. So we can do walk-ins as well. And also on Tuesday, the 14th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., we are giving free haircuts to any officer with the badge and free donuts.
Free donuts.
Free donuts. Cops and donuts, they go together.
Which one?
Cops and donuts, they go together. Which donuts?
Okay, no, which donut? Yeah.
I don't know
doing
yet.
It for free?
I'm working on the donut people, so I don't want to plug them yet because I don't know if they're going to do it yet or not.
Okay.
I'm working on it. If not,
well, I'll tell you what.
If not, I'll buy them. They're going to have free donuts no matter what.
Right,
but just to let them know I appreciate them and I'm tired of them being treated like crap. There are a lot more good than bad out there.
Yeah, I'm supposed to have a couple IMPD guys on if they can get it approved by their boss, but I think they should be able to do that. It's some of the guys that ride the bikes.
And, they're over here. They're great people.
Yeah, and
they're awesome.
We'll see how that goes. Hopefully they'll be able to do that because you just don't see a lot of. We just don't really even hear from the police. I mean, you hear defund the police, you hear all this stuff negative again with the police, but I'll hear the FOP guy come out and say some things, and maybe the captain, but really, their voices are not being heard on what their side of the situation is. So I've pretty much interviewed the other side, the people that want to hear their voices heard. They've been nice enough to interview, and
that's
been good.
Awesome.
But I'm glad you're doing that. So we'll get that out, and I'll also post your phone number so people can come down. Great. And don't be scared of these people out here. Just come down and go in the west entrance. That's usually the east.
Or the north. Go in the north.
Oh, you can get in the north?
So yeah, right here you can go in the back door.
That's Ohio Street, right?
Wabash.
Wabash. Okay.
Yeah.
It's on Wabash Street. Come in that way.
You don't need to be scared, though. I mean,
no,
we just told them all that, and then we say don't be scared. That's kind of
It just go like this when you come in. Okay, that's all. But and maybe by next week though something will get done. Because there is some awareness of this, just as the fact that you're getting some awareness raised because of the various different hurdles that they're putting in your way. Instead of helping you, I would say that a city government ought to help all the people. All the
small businesses,
yes. Just in general. But it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like they're helping. It seems like, well, you're going to do what we say, or you'll eat cake.
Right.
Which is, I guess that's old English saying, make them eat cake or whatever. But that's sort of, we feel like it's a kingdom here, and we're the poor peasants down here working and slaving away while they sit up in the 25th floor and have tea and crumpets and look down on us and say, oh, we will make another law today that will very much affect them, and they will not be able to survive this one. And if they survive this one, we'll have another one next week that will be very treacherous indeed. So, but it seems like I like your fighting spirit, and I just wish you all the luck. And I have like 12 to 14 viewers on this show, and I'm sure that at least half of them are going to come down and get their hair cut.
Well, good. That's awesome. And they'll love it.
They'll love it. That's right. This is a cool old barbershop. How old are these chairs?
They're 1901, so they're 119 years old.
119 years old. There you go.
A lot of butts have sat in these chairs. If these chairs could talk, it'd be awesome.
Hi, this is John Schmitz for the Do Something Indie Show, and I have another special guest tonight, and her name is
Brenda Barrett.
And she is a actual barber down here at the city market.
Oh, wait a second. All right, I'm sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulty there. Cut that off a little bit early, and then it started again. That was awesome. As I say, I am my own engineer. One of these days I'll have a budget where I actually could have an engineer, but right now we got me, and I'm not that good. But anyway, as you can see, business is tough down at the city market, and it's you got to wonder. It's not only there, but it's in a lot of places. You got to wonder what's going to happen to downtown businesses. I mean, it is really getting to the point where is it worth coming into work if you can't make a living and you're just paying rent for somebody else? And at some point that's got to give. And I just see us spiraling out of control as far as the crime and what's going on in the city. So I hope you enjoyed that little clip there. Like I said, she's a firecracker. Go down and get your hair cut. She could use some business. She usually has a couple people in there working, and I know that they're down in their business. So I'm getting close to needing a little haircut. I don't have a whole lot of hair, but it needs cut every once in a while. So I'm going to probably head on down there. And the free haircut for the police and donuts. So as I think she said she could have had a few more people down there, but it's the spirit that counts. So here we go. Hopefully I won't screw up the ending of the show, but here you go. There's the ending, and we'll see you next week. I don't know what I'm going to have next week. You're just going to have to tune in and find out. And then also, if you want to watch Facebook Church Sunday mornings live at 8 a.m. on at Sunday mornings. It's a page that I have, and hey, tune in. It's not really churchy, but it's there's usually a decent message there, and hopefully you can apply it and try it. I usually give you a little homework, and we'll go from there. But so thanks for tuning in, and we shall see you next time.